What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. That's right, time to get back on it. Time to talk about some retro wrestling, some retro reviews. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. I think the last one I did was when the network went down. And since then, because I can't get any ECW, I can't get any WCW pay-per-views to watch. I didn't see much point in doing it. But I'm back to doing them, and I want to do them, and I enjoy watching the retro shows. I enjoy going back and watching them through. And yeah, let's get down to it, shall we? We're back in 95. If I do at some point find some WCW ones and ECW ones along the way, I know they're popping up now on the WCW channel on YouTube, so I will try and get the ones, if they fit into the timeline, I will try and get them in there as well if I can. And if at some point in the future they do pop up at some point somewhere, I will go back, hopefully, if I can, and remember, and review them. But we're in 95 still. It is WWF In Your House 2. It is the 23rd of July, 1995. In Nashville, Tennessee, at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. There's 6,482 people in attendance for this show. Overall, I did like the In Your Houses. They weren't long shows. Not as long as some of the pay-per-views you get today, and even some of the TV shows you get today aren't as long as this. This wasn't as long. It was nice. There was a couple of decent matches. Overall, though, this was a time in the WWF when you had a lot of bad gimmicks. The storyline sucked ass. Yeah, it wasn't very good. It was a hard time to be a wrestling fan in 1995 across the board. But let's get down to it, because the first match was quite interesting considering where these two are in a couple of years after this match. You've got the Roadie versus 1-2-3 Kid. Yeah, the gimmicks change in a couple of years' time. You see the 1-2-3 Kid, he changes heel, then he goes off to WCW, then he comes back, and then he joins DX with Roadie, who is at the moment backing up Double J, Jeff Jarrett in his corner majority. He's starting to get some in-ring action, and we're starting to see more of him in the ring. This was an okay match, actually. I did enjoy this, going back and watching this. I forgot about how good this match actually was. You don't really see Piledrivers off the second rope to finish matches back in 95. You weren't seeing that a lot. And yeah, they pulled out some decent moves. 1-2-3 Kid could go in the ring. People forget about how good he actually was in the ring. And Roadie was okay in this match. This was a decent opening match. I didn't mind it. It was a good match. And the Roadie gets the win with a Piledriver off the second rope. Don't see many of them in 95, like I said. Second match sucked ass. Men on a Mission, one of the worst teams ever. Mabel was King of the Ring, one of the worst King of the Rings of all time. Men on a Mission beat Razor Ramon and Savio Vega. Mabel, who they're trying to build up now. He's going to be the number one contender for Diesel's title at SummerSlam. They're trying to build him up here. And he goes and beats Razor Ramon clean in the middle of the ring. Just a joke that they were trying to even build and push Mabel. He was dreadful. They're building up towards the lumberjack for the main event. The story is that Dibiase has paid off one of the lumberjacks, Doc Hendrix. Do you remember Doc Hendrix? Oh my days. Doc Hendrix, what a shit gimmick that was. One of the Freebirds, Michael Hayes, one of the Freebirds, and he comes to WWF, cuts his hair, grows a moustache, and looks absolutely ridiculous as a backstage interviewer. It was pathetic. He was terrible. But he was asking Bam Bam, Smoking Guns, Adam Bomb, have you been paid off by Dibiase? That's a story there for tonight. Yeah. One of the stars of the whole In Your House 2 has to be Double J. But considering what goes on after this show, it's amazing. Double J comes out and sings Alone With My Baby Tonight. And still to this day, a very catchy tune. Still like it today, I can't lie. And I can't get it out of my head at the moment. It's in my head right now. And I'm not going to sing it, but Alone With My Baby Tonight. Do you know what I mean? And Brian James, the one who actually sang the song, low-key, is a very good singer. And it's just crazy that Jarrett and Roadie quit the WWF after this match. They legit quit. You would think after all of that, after all him singing the song, the match he has with Michaels later on, that they're pushing him into being in the main event spot. Maybe that's what he thought. Maybe he thought, yeah, they're doing all this for me. I'm getting pushed into the main event now. And Vince probably had other ideas and saying, nah, we're pushing you down the card. Maybe he wasn't happy that him and Roadie were getting broken up, because they were a good team together. They did do some good stuff together. Next match was Bam Bam Bigelow versus Henry O. Godwin, the hog farmer. Henry O. Godwin. Great creative there, spelling hog. Classic. Great. Genius. I mean, Henry Godwin, do you remember him? He got heat by throwing his slop bucket over his opponents. Just dreadful. Bam Bam looked ridiculous in that jacket he was wearing with the flames on it. He was a terrible babyface. After WrestleMania 11 and that big match and main event he had with Lawrence Taylor, everything went downhill for Bam Bam in the WWF. Let's have it right. They turned him face. He left the $1 Million Corporation. And when he turned babyface, he was awful. He was terrible as a babyface, as opposed to how good he was as a heel. But Bam Bam gets the win here in a terrible match. Really bad match. Godwin misses a knee drop off the second rope. Bam Bam gets the pin from that and gets the win. Easily the best match of the night was the Intercontinental Championship match. Jeff Jarrett was the champion going up against Shawn Michaels. The bumps Shawn Michaels took in this match were insane. The backdrop over the turnbuckle onto the floor was, oh my gosh. Even today, people would be like, wow, that was insane. Insane. You had Jarrett and you had Roadie playing the heel roles perfectly in this match. Lawler on commentary was hilarious during this match. This was easily the best match of the show. Roadie hooks Jarrett's leg, costs him the title. Sweet Chin Music, 1, 2, 3. Why don't people talk about this much as they should? I forgot how good this was. Maybe it's because it was during a time, one of the worst eras of pro wrestling, lost on a very poor wrestling show. If this match happens today, it's a 5-star classic. 5-star classic, no doubt about it. And I don't blame Jarrett, to be honest with you. He's pulling out a match like this, and you would be expecting to be moved on and moved up the card a little bit. Having a great match with Shawn Michaels, a 5-star match with Shawn Michaels. Oh, okay, Shawn Michaels could have a 5-star match with a ladder, and that's legitimate. He can have a 5-star match with an inanimate object. So anyone could have a 5-star match with Shawn Michaels. But Jeff Jarrett was there as well, you know, and he put on a great show in this match. This was really, really good. Stands the test of time. It really does. You ain't seen a better match. It was really good. Best match of the night of this show. And the WWF Tag Team Championships were on the line. Owen Hart and Yokozuna were the Tag Team Champions with Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette in the corner. Man, I miss managers. That's what I was thinking when I was watching this match. I miss quality good managers. Yeah, we got Paul Heyman, but yeah, he's nowhere near. And even he would admit he is not on the level of the likes of Jim Cornette, the Brain, Jimmy Hart, the Slickster. Do you remember people like that? We don't have them anymore. We got one. We used to have so many back in the day. I'm probably missing a whole hat load of people. Hopefully comment down below some other managers that you remember that were so damn fucking good that we don't see anymore. They're a dying breed. They've gone extinct in professional wrestling. It's a massive thing. Heat magnet managers were fantastic. We need more of them. We need more. This match was okay, actually, because you had Owen Hart, Yokozuna. Okay, Yokozuna at this time couldn't go anymore. He was really heavy. And very similar to what they did with Andre the Giant, he was still an attraction. So you put him in with someone who can go, who can carry the load. So they put him with Owen Hart, like they did with Andre. They put him with Haku. They give him the titles. And let Haku do the majority of the work. Owen's doing the majority of the work here. Up against the Allied Powers. Do you remember that tag team? I loved them as a kid. Lex Luger, that made in the USA gimmick was so stale by 95. It was stale in 1990. It was an 80s or 1970s gimmick that really didn't hit home in the 90s anymore. No one was interested anymore. Same with the Bulldog, really. The second they turned him heel, he was fantastic. So they should have done the same thing with Lex. They really should have here. Turned him heel, to have him turn on the Bulldog, have a little bit of a feud there, and then you go off and let him have a title run, a title shot or something like that. But no, Lex Luger was, stuck in this tag team, stuck in this USA gimmick. It was so stale. But there was no way McMahon was turning him. No way. What would you do? Have him turn on the USA? But this match was great because of three people. Three people, in my opinion. You had Cornette on the outside, gold every time. Then you had Owen Hart and British Bulldog carrying the match. They were amazing together. I mean, what do you expect? How long have they known each other for? Their family, their brother-in-laws. They've wrestled each other how many times? It was brilliant. Those two were brilliant. You just don't realise how great Owen Hart was and how good British Bulldog was as a wrestler. You just don't. No one talks about it enough. We don't. They were phenomenal. And we got, Owen, the win. Yokozuna drops the leg on Lex Luger to retain the titles. I didn't mind Yoko and Owen as the tag team champions, to be honest with you. I really didn't. Owen Hart as a champion deserved a title. He deserved a belt, and he carried that team. And Yoko came in and did his little bits. He was still an attraction, and it worked for a time. It did. WWF Championship match, the Lumberjack match. Diesel versus Sid. This match was dreadful in ring. Dreadful. The highlight of the whole thing were the Lumberjacks that featured. They featured the very best of 1995 WWF crap creative. It was fantastic watching it. You saw them all surrounding the ring. You had Spark Plug. You had the Blues Brothers. You had Duke the Dumpster. You had the Extreme Fighting Machine Karma. Skip the Body Donna. Mantar. The Heavenly Bodies. The Blue Blood himself, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The awful streak thug gimmick that Fatu had. He looked ridiculous in what he was wearing. You had Pierre the Pirate, the Taxman IRS, the Hog Farmer, we mentioned him earlier. Men on a Mission were there. Man Mountain Rock, remember him? No, you don't. Adam Bomb. Who the fuck are Techno Team 2000? Who the fuck are they? You're probably asking. I don't remember. Eric Watts. Do you remember Eric Watts? No, you don't. I don't know. Not surprising. Doesn't surprise me. Many people wouldn't know who Eric Watts is. Techno Team 2000. The Smoking Guns as well. Well, Mr. Ass was fantastic. When he was a smoking gun and a cowboy, it weren't so great. Majority of these wrestlers, part-time jobs, part-time wrestlers. It was fantastic. What a time to be a wrestling fan. I like the Lumberjacks beating the shit out of the wrestlers when they went out the ring. That made sense. You don't see a lot of that nowadays. You don't see a lot of Lumberjacks matches actually anymore. And after watching this one, I'm not surprised. It wasn't very good. And then Diesel got the win with a boot to Sid because there was far too much outside interference. And then they just, after the match, they're building towards Mabel and Diesel. They go after each other. They're building for that absolute stinkfest. Absolute stinkfest at SummerSlam that they have. Can't wait to watch that one. That's coming up soon, isn't it? I think that's next. Oh my God. What was Vince McMahon smoking in 99? He must have been smoking some serious shit to think Mabel should have been in the main event picture, coming up with all these creative gimmicks, all these characters. What? He must have been smoking some top quality budge. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next time. Peace.